All right, somebody wanted to know about what was the significance of the dove bringing back the olive branch after the flood after the flood waters had begun to abate. So I thought we probably should go back and read a little bit there. And let's see here. In Genesis chapter 8, in verse 6, and it came to pass at the end of 40 days that Noah opened the window of the ark which he had made, and he sent forth a raven. By the way, just in case you're interested, the word for raven is orev. And Jonathan, I'm going to go to the tablet, please, sir. It's ayin resh bet, orev. But it comes from the root word, and it's spelled identically to this. The root word is arav, and by now many of you should know what that root word means: to mix or to mingle. So the idea of the raven being connected to the idea of mixing and mingling. The raven is clean or unclean bird? It's an unclean bird. Why is it an unclean bird? It feasts on dead stuff, right? All right, so it feasts on death. So the orev comes from the idea of something that is mixed and mixed and mingled leads to what? To death. So he sent forth a raven which went forth to and fro. Now, where have you heard that phrase before? Going to and fro. The adversary. He goes to and fro. He is as a roaring lion seeking whom he may devour. In the book of Job, he's going to and fro in the earth. So little hints here, I think, about some of the things that are going on, or the what things connect to. Maybe that's a better way to put it. And he sent forth a raven which went forth to and fro until the waters were dried up from off of the earth. And so this raven apparently goes back and forth, back and forth, back and forth until the waters are actually dried up off the earth. Now, it doesn't return. He sent, well, I'm getting ahead of myself just a little bit, but we find out that the raven doesn't return. Now, here is my opinion. The reason the raven doesn't return is because he doesn't need to. He's been feasting on what? All the dead carcasses that are floating around in the water. Right? So he doesn't have to. So that's my opinion. It doesn't say that in the text, but I think that's a pretty plausible idea there. And he also sent forth a dove from him to see if the waters were abated from off the face of the ground. But the dove found no rest for the sole of her foot, and she returned unto him into the ark, for the waters were on the face of the whole earth. Then he put forth his hand and took her and pulled her in unto him into the ark. So since we showed you the word for raven, I'm going to go back to the tablet, and I want to show you the word for dove. And this is something we've talked about from time to time, but it's Yud Vav Nun He, and it's pronounced Yonah. Now, how do we say that? Jonah. So Yonah is a dove. And so the Yonah is sent forth. It can't find anywhere to rest the sole of its foot. Of course, it's not going to be feasting on dead carcasses because it is a clean bird, right? And he stayed yet another 7 days, and again, and again he sent forth the dove out of the ark, and the dove came into him in the evening, and I think that's interesting. And lo, in her mouth was an olive leaf plucked off. Now, the fact that it comes in the evening, there's those same three Hebrew letters, ayin, resh, bet. The root word means to mix or to mingle, arab, but here it's pronounced erev, because that's the evening. So why is the idea of the evening tied to the idea of mixing and mingling? Because evening is when light is mixing with darkness. Day is mingling with night. So it's in the evening when the dove comes in, and it's got an olive branch plucked off from a tree. And let me look at something just to verify here, because I'm just kind of going off the cuff, to be honest with you. But in Genesis 8, yeah. Let me show you the root word from which we get plucked off. Oh, come on. The root word is pronounced taraf. Now, here's why that's interesting to me. Because this is the same word, the same root word that's used in Hosea chapter 6, where it says, "Come and let us return unto the Lord, for he has torn," and that word in Hebrew is taraf, that's the root word. He has torn, but he will bind us up. He is broken, but he will heal us. When does he do this? After 2 days, he will revive us, and on the third day, he will raise us up that we may live in his sight. So there's some linguistic connections here to the idea of what's going on with the dove, the olive branch, and Hosea chapter 6. And so what would be the connection there in Hosea 6? Those who have gone their own way, done their own thing, but now they're returning unto the Lord. He's torn, he's plucked even, could be implied there, but he's going to bind us up. So what would be the connection to that idea and the Yonah, which is an emblem of what? Or who? The Spirit of God, right? Going out, and he comes back and he has an olive branch that's been plucked, freshly plucked from what? An olive tree. So think of olive trees, things being broken, things being torn, things being plucked, things being bound back together. Are you tracking with me here? So what's the significance of the olive, of the Yonah, the dove, coming back into the ark with the olive leaf or olive branch in its mouth? Here's what I think. It's speaking prophetically of what's going on right now in this day and time. Because you and I are living out what is written in Hosea 6. Come and let us shuv, let us return unto the Lord. Why? He is broken, but he's going to bind us up. He's torn, he's plucked, and he's going to bind us up. He's going to raise us up after 2 days he's going to revive us after 2 days and raise us up on the third day that we may live in his sight. All right? So we are living out that prophecy. Now, in prophetic terms, is it the morning or is it the evening? It's evening. How do we know that? Because everything's about mixing and mingling and coexistence and all those kinds of things. So prophetically speaking, it's evening. So as the sun is getting ready to set and soon it will be dark when no man can work, what is the Father doing? He is gathering in those who are this wild olive branch, and he's putting them in and bringing them in and binding them up and making them part of his family. Does that make sense to you? Also keep in mind that the waters are emblematic of the nations. So the Spirit of God is going out where? To all the nations, going out and searching for those that are his and bringing them and luring them back and drawing them close into himself. So, there's probably some other things associated with what's going on there, but I see it as, at least in part, it's speaking to the idea of what Romans 11 is all about. How Paul talks about how there was this cultivated olive tree. It was supposed to produce olives. Some of the branches, because they didn't believe, they were broken off. And because they were broken off, then those of us who were part of this wild olive tree that was, growing out here doing its own thing, nevertheless, he tore or plucked that wild olive branch and then brought it and then grafted bound it to this already cultivated olive tree. And of course, that gets into third day prophecies and things bearing fruit and what happens when the olive tree bursts forth into fruitfulness. According to Paul in Romans 11, I think it's verse 25, all Israel shall be saved. All right? All right, so then that's just kind of a summary of that.